Banks on survival mode right now. You are not going to be able to afford fast food soon. Get out of debt ASAP. Now, I got a question for you guys. Do you feel as if our economy is doing better than it did a few years ago? Now, I know that you guys are aware that the US GDP is driven by consumption, right? But this can all change as banks are now expected to enter survival mode and just cut off credit lines as they are fast becoming desperate to weather what is coming. This is a little bit concerning, folks. And so this means that some customers will be unable to borrow more on their credit cards. And this is going to put our economy into a wild ride. It's going to affect everybody for sure. I mean, think about it. How many people have a home equity line or a credit line, available credit on their credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and they're using that as their emergency fund? Now, just imagine if your bank were to just completely wipe out your available credit and what you thought was your emergency fund is no longer there. I mean, just imagine, because I'm saying this because it happened to me previously about 10 years ago, and it's likely to happen again. So my question is, can you still afford fast food? Now, it may soon become a luxury that not many of us can afford, as inflation is just making a mockery of our money at this point. Now, I'm not kidding you guys. If you thought that food was expensive, wait until you see the update in this video that I have for you. When was the last time you had a Big Mac? And as everything becomes more and more expensive, more working Americans are now drowning in debt. So what are you doing to hopefully take out your debt? Now, before I continue, please do me a huge favor by dropping a like for the video. It really helps out a lot. And if you guys are new here in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to the state of our economy, global happenings, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, SNAP, EBT, the stock market, the housing market, and everything going on in Washington, D.C. that affects our lives, families, and our bank accounts, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for the best way to invest in gold, be sure to hit the link in the description down below this video. All right, guys, so I watched Dave Ramsey's show recently, and for those who don't know him or his show, he gets calls all the time about people and their finances, and pretty much it's people who are trying to get out of debt. It's live and it's pretty fascinating since they're all like realistic live stories, real people calling it. Now, one that I noticed recently was from a woman who was talking about their debt and how she was afraid of starting a side hustle because of the time management issues that it could raise between her husband and her kid. And the advice they gave was spot on. Have you guys tried doing this yet? Well, if the answer is no, then you might want to start. So the biggest problem that most people have is that they're already worrying about the results before they even try anything. Now, although it is smart to take care of your debt as soon as you can, it's kind of hard to imagine thousands of dollars in debt with no actual plan to take it on. Now, if you kick that can down the road, that can will come right back up and kick you back. This is the case for home buyers who bought a house last year thinking it was a good deal. Now, of course, this is not applying to everybody, but now a lot of people are actually stuck paying 10 grand a month for who knows how long. And I'm not even taking into account the amount of layoffs that we've been seeing. Now, you put that into the mix and that is a bad day. Can you afford to pay your mortgage on one salary alone? Do you have a $10,000 per month mortgage? This problem of debt is now seeping into future generations. A new report shows that millennials added a record $3.8 trillion at the end of 2022. And now what's worse is that they are also missing out on credit card and auto loan payments. Oh yeah, we're going to start seeing car repossessions, foreclosures, all sorts of stuff. And since we're talking about credit cards, small and mid-sized banks are now on the defensive and are now expected to tighten their lending standards. So just for context, 70% of our GDP comes from consumption, like people buying stuff. The majority comes from credit card creation. And so what happens when new credit cards and new credit lines are not open? Expect our economy to come to a halt. Will we see a massive recession, or will we possibly see a depression? Now, this is a problem since banks with less than $250 billion in assets, aka smaller banks, are responsible for about 50% of our commercial and industrial lending, 60% of residential real estate lending, 80% of commercial real estate lending, and 45% of consumer lending. Yep, that's our small banks. They're a pretty significant role in our economy. Now, think about this for a second. Now, take it all away. It may even get to a point where you and I won't be able to afford McDonald's, and it's already happening right now in Connecticut. So this came from TikTok, where a user showed the price of a Big Mac combo. Any guesses as to how much this was? I'm gonna give you guys a quick second to think about it. Okay, y'all got it? Okay, $16.89 plus tax. Now, what are they putting into these Big Macs? Gold? Did you guys see my last video on McDonald's? Comment down below if you did. What is really going on with McDonald's? Now, if that's the case, I'd like to invest in 4 Big Macs, a couple of large fries, and a sundae too. I know it's wishful thinking, but that ice cream machine is probably broken. Yeah, it always is. Anyway, now speaking of investments, do you guys remember this gem from Kevin O'Leary?
So FTX is the largest and has the most invested in building out what I call institutional grade compliance. So I've been able to do that. I've been able to structure a situation where I can manage now my own portfolio on an FTX. And I'm starting to build up from a 3% weighting up to 7% in my operating company by the end of the year. And I'm going to be using FTX to do it. So I feel very comfortable endorsing this product for what it does, provides as a service, and how it can help someone like me and thousands of other institutional players solve for this compliance problem.
Well, that didn't age well, did it? Here's what Mr. Wonderful had to say about FTX recently.
There is a lot still to be explored here, but what would you say to the people who are not seeing their money right now, the people who have invested their savings into this company who now don't know where that money is?
I'm one of them. That's exactly what happened to me, and I intend to fix it. I'm going to go after that money. I want it back. I have the resources to do it. I'm very fortunate. I have millions of followers. I'm going to take them on the journey. I'm going to get the money back. That's what's going to happen. And where the chips fall, I have no idea. Who's going to jail? I have no idea. Who was fraudulent? I have no idea. But I will find out. I can tell you that, because this is 100% auditable. 100%. I don't care if it takes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Doesn't matter to me. You can't take my money and expect me to do nothing. I go after it, just as other institutions will do the same thing.
I believe that he didn't hear the question correctly. There are Americans who put all of their savings into FTX. He didn't. And his money, worth around $15 million, was his deal with FTX. It was his pay for endorsing this Ponzi scheme. He should have cashed out when he had the chance. Also, some people don't have the luxury to wait 3 years until they can get their savings back. For some of them, that was the end of the line. I guess that's why O'Leary, along with celebrities like Larry David, Tom Brady, they're now being sued by FTX investors. But what do you guys think of Mr. Wonderful? I mean, he does make a good point that these exchanges are not regulated, and it's only going to lead to more people pushing their money into investments that will never pan out as promised. But you guys tell me, what investments are you looking into right now? Do you still believe that Bitcoin is the future? Is Bitcoin going to be worth $1 million one day? Or are you looking toward assets that you can actually hold on to, such as gold, silver, and other precious metals? By the way, for the best way to invest in gold or silver, hit the link in the description down below this video. Now, I always get the question, where should you put your investments? Where should you put your money? How do I prepare? Now, I always say, I can't tell you where you should put your money. That's your call. All I can do is tell you where I'm putting my money. Now, I always look at a multitude of investments. Some are common and some are uncommon. You guys might not even be familiar with those. Now, I'm currently looking at the stock market as always. And then, of course, there's gold and there's silver, of course, right? I have my eyes peeled on different deals in real estate. Now, even if you don't have thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even millions of dollars, if you wanted to get started in real estate, you can get started with less than $100. I mean, there are things like ETFs and REITs, real estate investment trusts. There are exchange traded funds or ETFs that specifically specialize in investing in real estate. And you can purchase ETFs that are owned by Vanguard, Charles Schwab on different platforms like E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, M1 Finance, Robinhood, Webull, you name it. And most of these online trading brokerage firms and apps are accessible on your phone. But I'm also keeping my cash flow strong by checking out small businesses and side hustle ideas that fit my schedule and that could ultimately be automated. Nothing like creating passive income that can pretty much just kind of keep money coming in, especially during these tough times like now. And these are all capable of potentially creating multiple streams of income. And if you're one of those people who's out there who's willing to learn about these methods, definitely hit me up in the comments down below and let me know if you want more videos like this one. The challenges, they won't be easy to fix, but they are worth it and they are doable. Now, I hope to hear from you guys soon. Now, before I go, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video and subscribe for your daily dose of truth. I do appreciate you guys watching. Please be kind to one another, and I'll see you on the next one.